Are we getting sick of being cold? Are we getting tired of high taxes? Are we bored? Every 5 years, Americans move to another home. It's not always a dramatic move, say going from California to Colorado. Often it's close by, like across town or to another part of the state. Every 5 years might sound like a lot, but it's actually lower than it used to be. As a population, we're getting older, and older people can't move as easily as younger people can. Nowadays, mom and dad both have jobs, which makes mobility a tougher pill to swallow. And data shows that we don't job hop as often as we used to, so we don't move as much. Which states are seeing the biggest population declines over time? Actually, there are exactly 10 of them. The rest of the states have either seen slight increases or big gains in people. We'll talk about where people are moving and why everyone's leaving and all the other fun stuff in this video. So grab your packing tape and don't forget the goldfish. We're going to explore America's fastest shrinking states. On the road again, going places that I've never been, getting out of states that I'll never see again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. So here we go, hopping in the truck. This is going to be fun, everyone. A new adventure. Anything's better than Kansas. No, Kansas isn't that bad, is it? Well, clearly it's not the bee's knees since it's our 10th fastest shrinking state. We actually have 10 states exactly that saw population declines last year. Kansas barely qualified. It lost only 0.1% of its population of late, which isn't so bad. But the population decrease is accelerating here, as Kansas had a smallish 1.8% population increase over the last decade, so people are leaving at a faster rate. Why are people leaving such a pretty state? Jobs mostly. I mean, the schools are pretty good, the cost of living's reasonable. The biggest demographic moving out of Kansas are older people, folks over the age of 55. She couldn't wait to get out of here, but then she came back and realized she actually kind of missed it. Now the opposite, the fastest growing state, is the state of Idaho, which saw a 4.1% growth rate last year and a 16.2% population increase over the last decade. But Utah grew even faster than Idaho in the last 10 years, with an 18.2% growth rate. Both of these states have a booming economy and an exceptional cost of living. Teeny little Rhode Island ranks as the state with the second biggest outbound migration rate. What's wrong with Rhode Island? Nothing really. When they asked people why they were leaving Rhode Island, nearly half said for jobs. We're actually going to hear that a lot. A quarter of the people leaving are retiring, often to southern states with less taxes. It's the wealthier people getting out of Dodge too. Hardly any of the poorer Rhode Islanders are leaving. Now what about the fastest shrinking countries? Most are in Eastern Europe, places like Bulgaria, Lithuania, Latvia, Serbia, Ukraine. Japan's culture shift has meant that it's on pace to lose about 20 million people in the next 30 years. They're just not having enough kids to keep up with the aging population. Same goes with Italy. The countries growing the fastest are all in Africa. A high fertility rate and better medical technology means people are living longer here, and the population growth is exploding. However, these countries are all very poor, which is a big problem in this part of the world. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside my door. I can't wait to hit the road and say goodbye. We had to fly our stuff out of our next shrinking state because renting a boat to move a couch and our pets just doesn't seem prudent, especially when we spend a fortune trying to afford living in Hawaii. When you have the highest cost of living in the nation, it's kind of hard to keep people around. Many of us can't justify paying an average $672,000 for a house, even if this is in your backyard. Rent here is like $2,000 a month at best, and grocery costs are through the roof. No wonder the population's dropped here for 3 consecutive years. Besides people leaving because they can't afford to live here, there are fewer little Hawaiian babies being born. Aw, that's too bad. Little Hawaiian babies are so cute. We go down south for the first time, and actually for the last time. Louisiana is the only southern state that didn't increase residents last year. Even Mississippi gained a few people. As we mentioned earlier, the South and the West are where we're all moving. The biggest destination for Louisianans is next door in Texas. A whopping 70% of people leaving Louisiana are doing it for better jobs. As you may know, if you don't work in energy, the fishing industry, or in agriculture, it's tough finding work here, mister. And the lower the oil prices go, the poorer everyone here gets, sadly. Get ready for a long drive. Good thing we have snow tires. We're here in Alaska, at least for now, because like a lot of other people, we're leaving. 6 years in a row it's been since Alaska had a net migration. That's the longest ever. It's tough finding good work up here in no man's land, and it's expensive for things like heating fuel, medical insurance, and bear traps. Of course, it's very cold and dark here too. The older population's beginning to get tired of that, and the younger population, well, they don't like not having amazing internet and a Starbucks on every corner, so they leave.
Did you know every resident in Alaska gets a check every year?
I did know that, Mappy. And I looked it up, and last year, Alaskans got $1,600 each just for being Alaskans.
That's a lot.
No, not really, Mappy. Childcare alone here costs about $7,600 a year. $1,600 isn't even enough to pay for igloo insurance.
Hey!
Mappy has no idea what day-to-day costs are. I haven't really told you guys, but his family's been living with me for the last 3 years. I just might have to do something about that, though. But for now, we drop in on Connecticut for a live view of a very happy family packing their shit. Like Alaska before it, Connecticut's population has dropped for 6 consecutive years, too. Families like this are moving out every day. That's kind of a weird way to pack. What are they doing with the plastic like that? More than 1 in 3 people leave Connecticut because they retired, and 3/4 are relatively wealthy folks. Connecticut had a net loss of 30,000 people last year, many to nearby New York, Massachusetts, and California for some reason. I guess they never visited California before, because the northeastern part of the US has been hit hard by an outward population migration. It's been 4 consecutive years that the Empire State has lost people. A lot of them are from upstate, a region which has been hit hard by manufacturing job losses, and the cold climate doesn't help. But it's not just folks leaving the sticks. Last year, 131 people left New York City every single day. Lots of folks are burned out by the fast-paced life, and the high cost of living is just wearing on people, I guess. Of course, many people are moving to New York City as well. 2/3 came from abroad. That means other countries. A lot of New Yorkers are leaving for southern states, especially Florida, which is the 5th fastest growing state of all, mostly because it's warm here and there's no income tax. New Yorkers also flee to nearby New Jersey and Pennsylvania at a high clip. Just know I'm not alone, 'cause we're gonna make your state our home. Our next fastest shrinking state is Illinois. Why? Taxes, the weather, Chicago, crime, nothing to do. Every 5 minutes, somebody leaves Illinois for another state. This state lost 104,000 people last year. Illinois is the only Midwest state that didn't grow last year, outside of Kansas. Now, because the population has shrunk so fast here, the demand for housing has also gone down. That's impacted one of Illinois' biggest industries, real estate. Now, less homes means less property taxes, which means the economy is sinking even faster. And they're talking about hiking income taxes even more here next year, which will mean more people will likely leave again. Bye, Illinois. Now, Wyoming actually lost more people than any other state last year, but Wyoming had seen a slight gain in people over the previous decade. That means Wyoming's population decline is picking up steam. Why are people leaving all of this? Mostly jobs and better economies elsewhere. Americans do want to live in less crowded places these days, but the sweet spot seems to be the suburbs, outside of major metro areas. There aren't any major metro areas in the Cowboy State. The economy here and the jobs have been up and down for the last 5 years. Look at which states are right next to Wyoming: Idaho, Utah, and Colorado, 3 of the fastest growing states. They're stealing Wyoming's residents away. Jerks. Which state is the fastest shrinking of them all? West Virginia is. There are many, many reasons why the mountain state has been bleeding residents. Of course, jobs have a lot to do with it. The unemployment rate here is about 25% higher than the national average. Thusly, 2/3 of the people leaving are doing so for bigger paychecks, or actual paychecks. And most interestingly, nearly 3 in 10 people leaving are young. That's really high. It's like you grow up in West Virginia and you can't wait to get the heck out of West Virginia as soon as you can. People here are poor, where 20% live in poverty. It's an older, unhealthy population, and part of the decline is just people are dying. There were more deaths than births here last year. And sadly, addictions are a big problem in West Virginia too. Now, will people continue to leave West Virginia? Probably. Many of the other states we talked about will probably see that as well. We want better jobs, warmer weather, and a better life. And some places in our country allow us to do just that. So next time you're looking around, wondering why on earth you're stuck there, remember this: you're not. Take action and move on to greener pastures. You'll be a lot happier. You can always come back. Settle down, it will all be clear. Don't pay no mind to me, I don't want to be here. Just know you're not alone. I just don't want to make this state my home. Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.